The improvement of understanding is for two ends. First, our own increase of knowledge. Secondly, to enable us to deliver that knowledge to others. The only fence against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. To love truth for truth's sake is the principal part of human perfection in this world, and the seed plot of all other virtues. I have always thought the actions of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. Education begins the gentleman, but reading, good company, and reflection must finish him. New opinions are always suspected, and usually opposed, without any other reason but because they are not already common. All men are liable to error, and most men are in many points, by passion or interest, under temptation to it. The discipline of desire is the background of character. It is one thing to show a man that he is in error, and another to put him in possession of truth. The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge. It is thinking that makes what we read ours. The business of education is not to make the young perfect in any one of the sciences, but so to open and dispose their minds as may best make them capable of any, when they shall apply themselves to it. The improvement of the mind is a slow and gradual process. The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. All wealth is the product of labor. Where there is no property, there is no justice. The only way whereby anyone divests himself of his natural liberty and puts on the bonds of civil society is by agreeing with other men to join and unite into a community. Freedom of men under government is to have a standing rule to live by, common to every one of that society, and made by the legislative power vested in it. The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. The greatest part of mankind may be enslaved, and made to do the will of their masters, by the same method by which we are made to do the will of our sovereign. Government has no other end but the preservation of property. A man's conscience and his judgment is the same thing. And as the judgment, so also the conscience, may be erroneous in transgressing the law of nature. The offender declares himself to live by another rule than that of reason and common equity. The power of the legislative, being derived from the people by a positive voluntary grant and institution, can be no other than what the positive grant conveyed. The state of nature has a law of nature to govern it, which obliges everyone